Hello, this is Frank Kenny, eXp Realty here in the South Bay, and I'm today interviewing Mary Lou Amador, who came recently to eXp Realty from another brokerage. It's a bit of a story, but now she's here, and I'll call it saved. Nothing religious about that, but
Yeah.
just kind of took a lot off her plate when she made that change. So, Mary Lou, I'm going to ask you a few questions about why you made the switch and, what the benefit is to you and where you're seeing you're going to take your business and all that. By the way, let's start with how is your business right now?
My business right now is doing very good. It's in a stage where I'm working on reaching out a lot to, people within my family, my friends, so what we call our sphere. Still, working to just get their trust kind of in a way and let them know where I am and that how far I've come with the experience that I've gained so far.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Mhm.
great. That's exactly where you need to start. And of
Mhm.
course, you got a database and now a new CRM system that you can put all that in. And also, you've been getting referrals from one of your lender partners too. So that's a really good thing. And how's that been going?
That's actually been going really well. It's nice to have like in a sense, a partnership with lenders, so that they can basically do all the pre-work for you in a sense. So they review the clients and what they're eligible for, and they get pre-approval. So that way, we can focus on where they need to start and how much room they have to work with.
Yeah, exactly. And working with the partner like a lender, you get kind of a referral that's a warm lead versus just, hey, call this lady, kind of thing. And so
Mhm.
these buyers, they're already trusting the lender. So
Right.
now they're getting referred to someone who can take them to the next step and actually find the house.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah, so that works great. That's good. Um, So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you a few more questions here about first of all, what attracted you to EXP in the first place?
Well, EXP, it attracted me there because they have a lot of opportunity to like learn as you go. And for instance, like if there's certain things where you may not feel confident, they have resources where you can go, whether it's to learn on your own or to reach out to someone so that they can provide you the help that you need.
Yeah, that's right. And
Hmm.
there's various resources where you can get that help. And one, first of all, I'm as your mentor, you always can reach out to me as well. And
Hmm.
then easy access to the broker, which is like 10 or 12 brokers just in this area alone. So you
Correct.
have easy access to a lot of assistance, but then there's also all of the training videos and everything. And I know that you coming from a smaller brokerage to EXP is sort of like a fire hose in your face of all the information that you can obtain, and it's a lot. But
Yes.
just take it steady and you'll get through it fine.
Yeah,
But
it's a lot of information, but what I also like is that it's not like anything extra. With some other brokerages, it's like you have to pay extra to receive some of the
right,
training and you have to invest extra. And I mean, as real estate agents, we always get paid on the back end of things. We put all of our work up front, and sometimes it's not always easy to pay for things like that when you're waiting on on escrows or you're waiting for things to go through. But it's great to have the resources available to you without having to think so much about what the cost is going to be.
yeah, absolutely. For $85 a month, you get the whole enchilada. You get all the training and all the CRM and all of the
Yes.
assistance that you need from me as your mentor, but also the broker and anyone else you reach out to in EXP will help you, and you get
Hmm.
everything for 85. Um, you kind of touched on this, but what benefits or features of EXP stood out compared to other brokerages that you may have looked at?
Well, first and foremost, FastCap is one thing that other brokerages do charge for, and it's upwards of $500 for something like that. And it's very action based, which I like. A lot of people, I feel like a lot of people learn by doing, and that is one way that I do learn, is by getting in there and just practicing what they're teaching, and putting things into action. It's always the best way. So that's one of the things with FastCap that's very helpful, and it's a peace of mind because you feel like you're getting a lot for it feels like for free. But it's, I mean, if they put a price tag on it, I know people would still do it because it's beneficial.
Yeah. So for those of you watching who don't know what FastCap is eXp's training program for agents to get immediately into production. And, obviously then you get revenue, but it just is an intense 6-week program, which will just drive you right into production. But like the gym, only if you do the work. So everybody can tell you how to work out, but you could be an expert on working out. But unless you go work out, you don't get anything. Same with FastCap and the training programs. Any training program is like that. I mean, you can learn all you want, but if you don't go do it, then you're not going to have any benefit from it. Isn't that right?
Exactly. Yes, it's the action of it. Like with most things, it's putting in the work, and not only saying what you're going to do, but doing what you're going to do.
Absolutely. So how's FastCap been working out for you so far? It's what, like, I think you're 2 weeks in now or something like that?
Yeah. I mean, it's been working for me. I am an agent who has a lot going on outside of what the business is. So it's something where I really appreciate the fact that once you do it, or once you're in it, it's not like you can't do it again. So I know that anything that I might miss, I can always rejoin the program and still benefit from the information that's being provided. But they do give a lot of insight on different tools that are offered that can be used. Also, just eXp has partnerships with like Realty, where they do send leads your way. It is whoever's first, but still the fact that you get that support, just so you can keep it on top of mind to not give up, in a sense. Once so that's what I like the most. And then plus everyone who's that I've been able to see in the trainings for the FastCap, everybody's very informative. They give a lot of good tips. So just a lot of useful information.
Yeah, exactly. So you mentioned that in FastCap, they're giving you leads.
Mm-hmm.
And you mentioned also that they are like whoever gets to it first. So is it, what do they put a lead out there, and then the first person to call that lead gets the lead? Is that how it works?
Yes. So you can they send either text messages or emails, and the moment you tap, it gives you the person's information. And also too, with the mentor program, whatever mentor you work with, I'm happy. I've been able to benefit from that with working with you, is obtaining leads that I can reach out to, and I've had responses. So it's always nice when they work. When it's not just like nobody's on the other end, but no, you get responses.
Yeah, that's great. And now you're out in the Lancaster Palmdale area of California. Do you have other like agents in FastCap that are in your area?
As of right now, I haven't communicated directly with any of them, but there are a lot of agents out here who are with eXp, who were actually also with the previous brokerage where I started. So I know a lot of those agents do meet.
Yeah, sorry, I'm referring to in FastCap. Are there agents from out there?
As of right now, the agents that are in FastCap, I don't believe I know any of them in my area. No.
Okay, so pretty much the leads that you'll get for that area, they're all yours.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's awesome. So let's see, I have some other questions here. I'm just sort of reading through them. So for you, coming from a smaller brokerage where there are better experiences, let's put it that way, and getting into eXp, So what strategies have been most effective for you in what from that other company, but what you've learned inside of eXp to do that will benefit your business?
Oh, um, so a lot of transparency and keeping notes. I think that is something that I think a lot of I mean, I'm not sure, right? But it's something where I've noticed that if you keep notes from conversations you have with clients, conversations you have with other agents, the lender, escrow, um, it's very beneficial because so much goes on at a certain point, and you can lose what you said or what they advised, and things can get very mixed up. So I feel like keeping notes on everything, having clear and open communication, just strategies on also like when you do have a conversation by phone with someone, immediately sending like a little well, how would you say it, like a short, I'm losing the word.
Follow up?
A little follow up, like by text message. It was great talking to you. This is what this is what we talked about. So, and then like next steps of what was discussed, so that it helps you stay on track. So
Yeah.
I think EXP is really good at giving you just goals, resources, and strategies. And I think in this business, a strategy is always good to have because it's like marking your to-do list. Like this is how we start off, and these are the things we need to do. Also, the resources they provide on how you can keep track of your escrows, the documents you need to put in. I know I know that once I complete an escrow, it's going to be beneficial because I'm not going to be worried about if I miss documents, if documents are missing, if oh, we didn't find that document, so it doesn't exist. Like, no, we have things, and there's things in place where everyone will benefit. It's not just you, it's your client, it's escrow, it's the lender, it's even the agent on the other side. Everybody benefits when there's organization and when there's resources to where you can always refer to if you ever feel lost or if you feel uncertain about the process.
Yeah, that's right. And sounds like you're getting a lot of that out of FastCap. So that's
Mhm.
a good thing. And it's like a whole different world from what you anticipated, right? From where you were to
Yes.
EXP.
Yes,
Very
and
different.
sometimes that's a big concern because you feel like when you're in the wrong brokerage, you feel like, oh, it's gonna be like this everywhere. Like I'm gonna run into seeing things like this everywhere. It doesn't matter, they're all the same, kind of like that. But no, especially coming across you, in the transaction that we did together, I feel like if it wasn't for you, I don't know if I would have been able to finish that transaction with my head still on straight. And that was one of the more simple ones I've had actually in the last from my previous brokerage. So it's it's nice to know that there is support. It's nice to know that there are agents who do things with integrity and who do things not just by the book, but just in a way to where less errors will be done if done in the right sequence or in an appropriate fashion.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's a good point because a lot of agents get their license, maybe at the request of somebody or some friend or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And you mentioned end up at the wrong brokerage. And when you're new, it's not always easy to tell if you're at the wrong or the right brokerage.
Mm-hmm.
But I recall during the whole process from through our transaction, you realized that you were at the wrong brokerage. There were all these little signs that were popping up for you, which you already intuitively thought, that doesn't seem right. Whatever they were telling you just didn't seem right.
Mm-hmm.
And you suspected that, but you really weren't confident enough to rely on what you're thinking. You
Mm-hmm.
didn't know for sure. So I
Mm-hmm.
recall during our process of the transaction that you were like, "Hey Frank, this is happening. Does that make sense? And then we would discover together, like, no, absolutely not. A lot of weird things. So my
Exactly.
point is for that agent, whether you're new or been in business for a while, if your brokerage doesn't feel right, there's other brokerages out there, whether it's EXP or wherever.
Yes.
But there are other brokerages out there. You don't have to stay where you think it's not happening properly or feels uncomfortable or something like that.
Yes.
Yeah, so I would definitely, if I was that agent, I would definitely inquire around. I mean, the grass isn't always greener everywhere, but it
Mm-hmm.
probably will be greener if you're not happy somewhere.
Yeah, and it's good because like I said, when you're working with another agent who's knowledgeable, then any doubt that you may have, if it's like you said, like you can feel where you're like, okay, there's something that doesn't feel quite right. So when you're looking for a brokerage or when you start to feel doubt about where you are, it's always good to reach out to people and get a feel, because usually whatever however you want to run your business and the way that you internally want see yourself moving forward, you always want to have peace of mind and the way you did your job, because at the end of the day you don't want to think, oh, did I do that properly? Oh, is that something that may come up later and I'm going to get in trouble? You know, and you don't want that weighing on you, you know?
Yeah,
So it's good to look around, ask questions, especially when there's people, when you can find agents who are proud of the brokerage they're at, and
yeah,
who you know, they advertise it and they say, look, I actually work for this great place that offers so much, and honestly take the time out to show you and present things to you and say, look, this is what we can offer and this is what we have. When someone is very motivated about where they work, it helps you feel motivated about being there, and having reassurance at the end of the day that, you know, you're not going to be looking over your shoulder wondering if something's going to come back at you because you had a feeling that that wasn't appropriate a way
yeah.
to perform business.
Yeah, and I would suspect that with the fallout of agents getting their license and then or people getting their license becoming agents, and then that fallout because they didn't have the proper care or training or concern or help or any of those kind of things. A lot of people, I think the numbers are about 90% within 2 years of getting their license are gone.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say that a lot of that is due to brokers are all real fast to recruit somebody, but then they're like, okay, great, I'm on to the next one now, and then let's recruit someone else, the next person, the next person, the next.
Yeah.
And the person that they've recruited needs help, but that broker doesn't have time because they're focused on just recruiting instead of helping and making things better. So I think a lot of people leave the industry because they just don't have that support and they
Mm-hmm.
don't know what they're doing. They don't know what to do. They don't even know where to start, and
Exactly.
then they don't make any money and they're like, oh gosh, this is hard, I'm getting out.
Exactly. And the worst part to that is feeling like you're a bother, or your questions are
Yeah,
annoying almost in a way. Like you, when you are uncertain and you ask and it like bothers some agents to be asked those questions, like that doesn't help. It's not reassuring at all whatsoever, especially if your business is important and if you want to make this a business. You it's important to feel like, okay, someone's actually, I mean, especially when you're on teams or things like that and you're giving them a part of your hard work, you're cutting them a percentage of your hard work, and for them to come back and make you feel like your questions are invalid, or um, they're insignificant, or that's not a like the brush off is very uncomfortable.
oh, I
Yeah.
hear you. I
Hmm.
hear you. Well, what advice would you give agents that are considering joining EXP?
Well, I would say if you're going to join eXp, just know that you're going to feel like you can be successful in months, especially if you're starting out. You're going to have the resources there available for you to reach out whenever you need help, to gain a network of other agents who are helpful, informative, and who maybe can even help you grow your business. Especially because, well, at least for me, I'm in a location where we get a lot of new people moving in here because of prices and things like that, and how in proximity we are to the more city, like the bigger cities. Um, excuse me, sorry. So it's always nice to have a network of agents. It's nice to have resources you can reach out to almost any time of the day, and you'll always feel supported. And you'll feel supported, and you will feel like you're not alone in this big sea, waiting for some shark to come by and take your arm.
Well, two things about that. It is a big sea and there are a lot of sharks. Gotta kind of watch out. But
Yeah.
yeah, that's awesome. I'm so glad you're able to join us at eXp. I know this will make a huge difference in your career. And, you can leave all the troubles behind and move forward with fresh and just basically start over on your career here. And I know you'll do well because you've already been doing well. So you'll continue to do well. And regardless of what the market does, you'll be there. Is
Yes.
there anything else you wanted to say to anybody?
Um, my one thing that I've been thinking about is just know that when you have support, like what's offered at eXp, you will be so much more present for your clients, and you will be able to offer them so much more of yourself and your knowledge and your abilities when you have that security. You feel like you have a backpack full of anything that you may need for your transaction. Mentors and brokers who are valuable in their experience to give you the help that you need for your clients. So I feel like that's the biggest and the most important thing about a brokerage is what you can do for your client, because your client is always going to be able to give you more clients, more work, the word of mouth, which I always feel is like probably the best way to grow your business.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with you there. It's like, when you're out on your own, like there's so much paperwork and there's so much stuff and there's so much, should I do it this way or that way? And when you have the support as a company behind you, you know that you can reach out. When I first started 27 years ago, I didn't know squat about real estate. But what I would tell my clients, if they asked a question I didn't know anything about, I would tell them, let me get back to you within 24 hours and I'll have an answer for you.
Mm-hmm.
And they're okay with that. What I find a lot of new agents do is like, oh no, they just asked me a question. I better make up an answer quick. And the answer probably doesn't make sense. And I'll bet you dollars to donuts that the client, whether it's a seller or a buyer, is going to know that you're BS and you're just making stuff up. So I always just say, any new agent, I tell them, just tell the client you'll get back to them within 24 hours. And then you're calling them back in 2 hours and they're happy.
Exactly.
Right? So yeah, and getting information or help at eXp is very easy. So, well, thank you so much for today, for being on the call. Appreciate that. And I wish you the best success in your business.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Appreciate the time.